And the reason I'm boiling it is I boil it in water and then give it a wipe, cleans it, sterilises it. There we are, the Dakota fire pit or fire hole. There's the breathe hole, and that's what helps it to. In actual fact, it doesn't burn the fuel too quickly either, really. I've not had to put too much in. Obviously, if you get a bit of a breeze, it will burn a bit quicker, but it's not too bad, that. I mentioned earlier that I would explain, why I said I like creation all around us, and that's what I believe it is. It's I don't believe in evolution, not at all. But that's not to decry those that do. But for me personally, I always struggle with it. Kind of being a nuts and bolts kind of a person. You can't just get something from nothing. Things don't just appear, to my mind. It's interesting because some scientists actually set out to try and prove that life could spontaneously arise, and they actually they constructed this glass sphere, about that big actually, and the environment within this glass sphere was completely sterile. No bacteria, no microbes, not anything. It's completely sterile. And they introduced some water into this glass sphere, which was supposed to represent the primordial oceans. And then they introduced some gases into the sphere, which was supposed to represent the primordial atmosphere. And then they had some electrodes which were arcing, which represented Mozzies again. Represented the lightnings that would have occurred in that primordial atmosphere, and they let that experiment run. As I say, it's completely sterile. They let that experiment run for some time, and at the end of it, they found in the bottom of this glass sphere, in their own words, some red goo. That was the terminology they used, not mine. That's and in that red goo, they found 4 amino acids, and of course they they were happy about that. They said, well, there you go, you see, there's 4 amino acids in that red goo. But what they didn't say was that, well, hang on a minute, you need a minimum of 20 amino acids to form the most basic of protein, and then those amino acids have to assemble themselves to form that basic protein, which then goes on to form cells. But the counter argument to them was this: if the glass sphere represented the primordial earth, and if the gases that the scientists introduced represented the primordial atmosphere, and if the waters that the scientists introduced to that sphere represented the primordial oceans, and if the electrodes that arced represented the primordial lightning within that atmosphere, well, who do you, the scientist, represent? You see the point? Those things only came together because an intelligent mind was behind it. So if that was true of that simple glass sphere, well, how much more true is it of the whole planet with every life form on it, all coexisting, working together? Well, normally it does until man interferes with it, but you see my point, and that's why I cannot believe that it just somehow happened. Evolution is very good at telling us that it happened, and this changed into that, and that changed into that, but they never explain how. And the fossil record, when it's allowed to speak for itself, actually backs up the creation account, and because they've never found any transitional forms. There have been a few that have been claimed to have been, but found that they're not to be at all. Of course, you've got the coelacanth. That was said to be extinct for 65 million years, I think it was, until they started fishing them up off the coast of Australia in 1935, and many have been caught since. So, no, that's why I say creation. I'm 100% 100, as sure as you can be, that there is a creator, and this is his handiwork. I absolutely believe that. But like I say, that's not to decry other people's beliefs. You know, we all make our own choices in life, and as I said earlier, live and let live. So that's enough of me rambling on. A good glug on it. I'm getting berries with just a threat of oyster shell. Yeah. Yeah. It obviously hasn't been living for a while. As I was saying on the last trip, with the tarp up and the ridge line above the tarp through the loops, sometimes you think, well, where are we going to attach our bug net hangers to? Well, you can see I always use a stick for my hanger, for my cross member, because the ones that they provide always tend to slip out. But do is you put a bit of shock cord across and just run it to where your carabiners. And that's all you do. When you sit in or when you lay in the hammock, it actually improves. But you can see there's the net, and it's perfect. So you don't actually need a ridge line under the tarp to suspend your bug net with. You just run across and connect them to your carabiners, and there we go. The ridge line running through the loops, so no problem there, and that's how I do it anyway. So we just had breakfast, just packing up, and had a nice night apart from that, and then it's off home.